Okay, hello everyone. We're covering today grades 4 Science PT exam. I know everyone has already studied for it, but a mother requested a video for Science PT, so I'll just record that. So each of the beaker below contains a mixture made up of more than one ingredient. You can see that there are 3 beakers and they have 3 ingredients in them. Only this one, the center one, you can see, has its the substance that's dissolved and it's completely dissolved equally throughout the water or whatever they're dissolving it in. The first one, you can see the material settled at the bottom, and the first one, it's on the top. So which one is they completely dissolved? It's the beaker B. The next one, what is the substance called? So now what is the substance called now? A solution. The next one, when the switch is closed, the lamp, it becomes a complete circuit. So when it becomes a complete circuit, the lights will light up. The lamps will, light up. The next one, the pot in the picture below is made up of type of metal called stainless steel. The handles of a pan are made up a type of plastic. Now you see that this pan, right, whenever you have, this pot, whenever you have heat underneath it, then this body is going to heat up, right? And why do we want it to heat up? Because this is where the cooking happens. These are the handles where you're going to hold, right? So you need those plastics to be cool. So you can hold them and you don't burn your hand. So this is why the bottom part, the body is made up of a conductor and the handles are made up of insulator. So what part of the pot should be conducting material? It's the metal body. And filling the blank that does not transfer heat is called insulator. Insulator. Okay. Please do check the spellings and everything. If I make a mistake, you can always mention in the comments down below. And sometimes I make the wrong mistake in choosing the wrong option, so always tell me. And thank you for your time, and please don't forget to subscribe. So Jane wants to separate a mixture of salt and water. She has a sieve, a magnet, and a filter paper. So now for salt and water, what happens is that let's understand what are all of these objects used for. So a sieve, you can a bigger particle from a small, so that you can have a liquid that's such as pasta and water, and pasta will stay in the sieve and the water will leave, right? The next one is when you have 2 different particles, like 2 different, so one is smaller and one is larger. That's when you can use a sieve. Magnet is when you can attract. So there's iron nails in sand and you can attract that. So magnet can attract metals, so to separate that. Filter, again, a liquid from, they can be 2 solids as well and can be liquid as well. So the liquid will pass through and then the solid will stay behind. Heat source, again, a material that is dissolved. So a material that is dissolved in water, you can heat it up like sugar in water or salt in water, and you can heat up the water and only the sugar and the salt will be left behind. So this is, I told the answer already, is the heat source. So usually, the filter is actually used for objects that do not dissolve, right? So just keep that in mind. So the filter is used for particles that do not dissolve. The next one, how does this tool measure temperature? The liquid inside expands. Remember, whenever you heat something, it gets bigger. That's the same process in the thermometer. Whenever it heats up or it checks the temperature of your body, if it's high, if the person is sick. So what happens, the temperature, the liquid inside, it goes up. So on a hot day, the liquid in the thermometer rises. The next one, sand drops and razor, a paper, a sharpener, and a small marble from the same height. So sand drops an eraser, a paper, and a sharpener, a small marble from the same height. So what happens? There is gravity, right? So gravity is pulling these objects down. Now, what is the process of gravity? Is that the heavier the object is, the faster it's going to pull it down. The lighter it is, the longer it's going to take for it to pull it down. So which one of these is the lightest? It's the paper. The next one, the cactus is a producer. True, because it's not eating anyone, right? So it's a producer. It only gives food. The hawk is a prey. No, the hawk is not a prey. The hawk is a predator in this. It's eating the snake. So this is false. And the snake eats the mice. True. Sorry, let's go to 8. What do female animals need to reproduce? A male from male animal of the same species. Now, what is this strain? It's melting. You can see that also the liquid that's dropping down, that's melting. Keep in mind, revise these processes. Evaporation is when water evaporates. There is a pot and the water evaporates. It goes from liquid to gas. And freezing, and think of it when you're putting ice in the fridge. So it's liquid and then you're making it into ice. So what is that? That's freezing. It's becoming solid. From liquid to solid, that's freezing. Let's go to the next one. And condensation is when there is a glass of water. It's cold and you put it out in the heat. So what happens? You see that small droplets of liquid form. So it's directly from air to liquid. So Sam investigates the rate of water evaporation with or without heating. He fills 2 beakers with 100 ml of water using a flask. Place one of them on the heater, then he starts recording the amount of water left in each beaker after every 2 minutes. So he's checking evaporation, right? How much water is leaving the beaker. One he's heating it, the other one he's not heating it. So which variable is the most important to keep the same in this experiment? The volume of water in the beaker. Okay. So the volume is the same, so you can see that they started from the same place, and which one lost more water. If you do any of the others, then it's not related to this experiment. What type of change did the eggs undergo? This is irreversible change. Like you cannot make the egg go to this is cooked, right? So you cannot make it uncooked. This one, and mechanical change is something that you break. So it's not, you didn't break the egg. So let's go. I mean, break it as like have a tear here. You did break the egg to open it, break the shell to open it. The next one, how long does it take the Earth to make a complete turn around the sun? That takes it 1 year. The Earth to make a complete turn around the sun takes 1 year. Just keep this in mind. You need to memorize that. So Jane tested the relation between roughness of different surfaces and the amount of friction. So remember, for friction, the smoother the surface is, the faster someone is going to move. So the less the friction is going to be. So the smoother the surface is, smooth surface, I'll just write it here, smooth surface is going to have less friction. So less friction. Now, which of these which causes the surface to be smooth? That's going to be oil, right? So even if someone is walking and someone has thrown oil somewhere, they will slip on it. Why? Because there's no friction. Friction actually stops it from falling as well. So sand, carpet, and wood, there are less chances of falling on them. So the moon phases repeat in a pattern every 1 month. It starts from the full moon to the first quarter, new moon, and then the third quarter. So I think it's the new moon first. My bad. New moon, and then the first quarter, then full moon, and then the third quarter. Sarah and Anna recorded their heartbeats for 60 seconds at rest after exercising. The following graphs and their recording. So what happens whenever you're exercising, even you know that, your heartbeat starts to increase. Now circle the structures directly involved in pollination. That's the pistil, the stamen, and the pollen. Remember, the pollen is transferred from the stamen to the pistil. Keep that in mind. Which two statements describe pollination? Transfer seed? No. It transfers pollen, not seed, from stamen to pistil. It usually results in seed formation, yes. It transfers pollen from pistil, no, because not from pistil to stamen, it's stamen to pistil. It occurs in the same flower only? No. It can happen in 2 or more flowers. It mostly depends on insects or winds. And the other one, the key below classifies, okay, so let's just check. What color are flowers of these belonging to group 1? So group 1, go to group 1. What are the color? White. So we'll go flower color, white. The other one, what is the texture of the bark of trees belonging to group 2? Group 2, what is texture? Is smooth. What is the texture of bark of trees belonging to group 3 and 4? What is texture of bark belonging to 3 and 4? That's rough. Why does the sun appear to move each day across the sky? Now remember, the Earth is moving around the sun. The sun is not moving around the Earth. So why does this happen? Because the Earth is rotating on its axis every day. So whenever you see the sun moving, it's actually the Earth's rotation on its axis. That's why. Not because of the rotation of Earth around the sun. So here you can see, Kate investigates how quickly water evaporates at different temperatures. So you can see the flasks are all the same. The water inside is all the same, right? He repeated the experiment twice. Why? To have better, so he can be more sure about the experiment. What variable did Kate change in the investigation? You can see that 40, 60, 80. Temperature of the water. So the measurement can be made with this tool. Now you can see it's liquid and inside there's written ml. So what is that? The volume of a liquid. The next is, which of the following causes the ball to fall to the ground when Jason lets it go? So Jason is holding a ball. How does it fall to the ground? Because of gravity. So gravity is the pulling force that pulls every object to the ground. Now here, it's what is the correct major 4 stages of beetle's life cycle? That's going to be an egg, a larva, a pupa, and then an adult. The next one, what does the y-axis represent? The y-axis represents let's first read. The bar graph below shows the total amount of rainfall during 9 months in a certain country. So amount of rainfall is on your y-axis. You see that? The amount of rainfall on the y-axis? This is the amount of rainfall. The rest of them is the month. So the most amount of rainfall that fell was in August, which was 50, I think 50 centimeter cube. So we'll just say rainfall. Which is a way to increase friction between two surfaces. Increase friction, it means you need to add more particles that are not going to allow you to slip. So keep that in mind. So add wax, no. Add oil between the surfaces, it's going to make this surface smooth. So reduce friction. So add sandpaper. The particles on the sandpaper are very small, and there's more interaction between the two surfaces, between the sandpaper and your shoes. So that's going to reduce friction. Increase friction. When can a person hear the chirping of a bird outside his window? So remember air vibration. So what happens is that the bird is chirping, the air around it is vibrating. It's going to reach your eardrum and vibrate your eardrum so you can hear it as well. That's all sound is based on all the air vibrations. Which of the following represents the correct order of conducting an investigation? Choose the right equipment, measure the results, and write a conclusion. So remember, whenever you're measuring liquid, you're not going to put that on a weighing machine. You're going to put it in a flask or in a measuring cylinder, right? So you can see how much is the liquid. If you put it in other measurements, it's going to make it incorrect. And then you measure the results and write a conclusion. What do eggs of birds need to hatch? Warmth. Remember, an egg, the babies inside the egg, if you cannot give them food, you cannot give them water, they don't really know about shelter. The shelter is the shell itself. They know about warmth, they know about the temperature. Sometimes I think you've seen the eggs, the mother birds actually sitting on the eggs. That provides warmth. To test how important water is for plants, Sam planted 2 identical plants in 2 similar pots placed near the window. He only watered the first plant once every 2 days. So he only watered first plants once every 2 days. He was testing the amount of water. So that's the changing variable as well. After a few weeks, he noticed that the plant is watered regularly, stayed green and healthy, while the other one wilted. Sam's sister wanted to check Sam's results. So what did she do? This experiment is perfect. Because he's testing the water, he added water in one of the plants and not in the other one. So what is she supposed to do? Repeat the experiment exactly as her brother did. Now, racing car frames are made up of different metals. These metals should be light but strong. They already gave you instructions, light and strong. So which one of them is light and strong? Your aluminum. That is strong, strength, and mass is its light. Let's go to the next one. I'm sorry if I'm too fast, I'm sorry. And please don't forget to subscribe so I can keep making these videos you like. Many objects can cast shadows. How do they cast shadow? When objects blocks light. Right, so when you block light, it's actually going to when you block light, it's not going to allow at this portion for any light to pass through. So it forms a shadow, right? And only in this area, it's going to form a shadow. The rest of them, the light is passing through. It's only this object is blocking the light. What mixture can be separated by filtering? So what is the temperature that's by filtering? Sand and water. So you can look, sand is solid and then water is a liquid, right? So you can separate that. And they don't dissolve. Keep that in mind. Filtering, they don't dissolve. An animal gives birth to live offspring, it feeds it milk to its young, and uses lungs to breathe air. This animal has fur in its body. Now remember, humans also, they're classified as mammals. They also feed their young, their babies, milk, and they use lungs to breathe air. So what is that? Mammals. So which of the following mixture can be separated using a sieve? Now sieve, you can use it to separate 2 different sized particles or a liquid and a solid. So here, water and pasta. And they're different sizes, right? The different sizes of water can just pass through and pasta is bigger, right? So it will stop the pasta. The next one, which change is not reversible? So not reversible is burning a paper. Melting ice, the opposite of that is freezing. Boiling water, the other thing is, of course, cooling it down. So the other one, which material used in cheap electric wire? So cheap electric wire, what is that? We need to keep the wire cheap. So it's going to be any of these and it needs to conduct. So it's only this one, copper. The next one, it's Kate planted 2 plants in pot A and pot B. She placed pot A near the window where there is sunlight. She placed pot B in a dark room. After a few days, she observed she's checking the grown inside. So pot A, which had light, grown in size and had green leaves, while plant in pot B wilted the leaves and turned yellow. So how would Kate know the presence of sunlight caused the difference in plant growth, right? The rest of it is all kept the same. So sunlight is also food for the plants and also water. So we're going to give the same amount of water to both of them. So the rest of the things are kept the same, only the sunlight is going to change. So that is 36 question. Let's go to 37. Now in here, which of the following shows a change that is reversible? Now remember I said melting, boiling, and freezing, they're all reversible. So melting ice. Formation of rust, no, because that's a chemical change. Baking a cake, yes, you cannot reverse it, right? You cannot make it dough and sugar. You cannot separate it, and burning wood either. Now you can see this plant is not producing any flowers, so we're going to choose it as a non-flowering plant. The next one, the teacher asks the student to measure how much seedling grows. So now remember a seedling, it has a stem that grows out of it, right? So after every day, you're going to see the stem grow. So what is that? That's your observation, not prediction. Not going to predict, okay, today it's going to be this long or that long. Okay, next one. Here, what type of labeled A? Those are your incisors. You just have to memorize the rest of them. You can do that. In the 41, you can see the temperature. Too quickly, water temperature rises when subject to direct heat. A thermometer is placed in a heated water and temperature is recorded every 1 minute. So you see the temperature keeps increasing. So let's see what are the options. The temperature didn't rise above 20 degrees. It did. We can see that in 20 degrees it was rising. The temperature decreased for 5 minutes. No, it did not. It's increasing. The temperature stayed below 50 degrees Celsius. No, it did not. It rose above 60 degrees Celsius. It reached 100 degrees. The temperature increased for 5 minutes. Yes. So this is the only correct option. Which of the following is true? The Earth and Moon are flat? No. The Sun, Moon, and Earth are aligned? Yes. They're all planets? No. Only Earth is a planet, and they're all stars. Only Sun is a star. So in this one, which of the following is a sign of puberty? So someone has grown up. So not losing baby teeth, growing facial hair. Getting wrinkled is when you get way older, and also having gray hair. Which statement is true about solar system? Sun is a planet? No. Earth has one moon? Yes. Earth is the only planet that orbits Sun? No. And all planets in our solar system have moons. So I don't think so we can choose more than one. All planets in our solar system have moons. The Earth, we can only choose one. The Earth is the only planet that orbits the Sun. Nope, that's false. Earth is not the only planet. Let's go to the next one. Which machines use a pulley? Now remember, what is the process of a pulley? A pulley, actually, you are just applying force on one side. Sorry. You're just applying force on one side. So you're pulling it up. Right, you can see this is a well. There may be a water bucket attached to this end, and you're just applying force in here. Now, which one applies force only on one end? That's your crane, when it wants to pick up objects, right? So a crane, not a nail clipper, not a seesaw, not a nutcracker. Which of the following is a material that has shiny surface and it's heavy? Paper does not have, it can be shiny, but it's not heavy, right? Metal is shiny and it is heavy. Wood also, it's not shiny. It can be heavy, but it's not shiny. Rubber is not heavy and it's not shiny. If you make the rubber bigger, then it will be heavy, but still not shiny. Now here you can see, now figure out which one of these are the smallest. So magnesium, sodium, and aluminum, right? So the smallest needs to be sodium. You can see, you can zoom into these. Okay, so here I found sodium, magnesium, and then aluminum. So I'll choose this one. And the larger one, the largest is copper. So let's see if copper is the largest. Yes, it is here. Now the last question, please don't forget to subscribe. And if you have any questions, just ask them in the comment section below. If you even need clarification, there's a Calendly link. You can always book a free session. So Sam had a car accident which caused a small injury to his brain. Now if there's an injury to the brain, what is happening? There is damage to the skull. Okay, so take care of yourselves. Good luck. Please do subscribe and have a great exam. Bye-bye and have a great day. Bye-bye.